back to another episode of Joe and Kay. I'm Kay.
And I'm Joe.
What are we going to talk about today?
Bad parenting advice.
That's a good one.
I know. And I think that, after that stage, like when you bring the baby home, you're kind of getting comfortable.
And everybody has something to say.
Yes, everyone. Your Aunt Myrtle, your mom.
People you don't even talk to.
Yes.
All of a sudden have the most wonderful advice in the whole entire world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's literally insane.
It is. And I have to say that you look amazing.
What?
You look beautiful today.
I do?
Yes, your hair is just perfect and you're looking very skinny.
I really appreciate you saying that.
You're kind of looking anorexic.
Am I?
What's your secret?
That's the look I'm going for.
Yeah,
is it good?
I can see your cheekbones.
Do you like my paint sweater?
I do. Well, that just makes it look like I don't care.
Oh, I don't.
But
not today.
Well, it looks
thank
like
you.
you
I appreciate it. I'm really hoping that by summer, you can see all the bones.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it working?
You're almost there. You're getting there.
So for those of you who don't know, I've really been on this weight loss kick. Part of it is trying to get my hormones regulated and to get my body back. So
back to what?
So pre my 3-year-old.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pre 3-year-old, I'm trying to get back to that. With my son, I snapped back a lot quicker than I did with her, but I was also diagnosed with some hormonal things after she was born, and it made it really hard. So I feel like now we're, a year and a half after breastfeeding. It takes so long for your hormones in your body to recover from pregnancy and breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And I detoxed myself and changed all the way I eat food, which sucks because I love food.
Yeah,
love
I am.
Food.
There is a meme that's what's my favorite food. It's carbs. That's me.
Carby.
Yeah, I love. And I
love carbs.
am chunky, and I'm not being mean to myself. Like I'm a fatty, and I love myself.
Don't
It's true. It's true. I know my daughter's like, "Fat's a bad word, Mom. Someone said you were fat." I'm like, "No, I'm totally fat, and that's okay." But
I just want to be back to what I was, and that's my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So far, as of today, I've lost 17 pounds.
Oh,
thanks. So I only have 10 more left to go as my goal, and then I think I'll be good. That'll be my comfort zone. Back to where I am.
Good work.
Dusting up the old wagon.
Yeah, you've actually inspired me quite a bit. My husband and I are talking about, because he was told he needs to lose weight.
Yeah.
I'm always told that, and I just roll my eyes and eat a Twinkie in front of him. Just kidding.
That's what my husband does.
I'm like, yeah, I know. But I walk all the time. I try to be somewhat healthy.
I hate it.
It's not like I have cake for breakfast.
If I could, I would. I'm actually saving my cheat day for my son's birthday because he thinks that he could beat me in eating a cupcake without using our hands. And I'm like, you obviously haven't met me before because I'm going to kick your butt. You're going down. I could eat 2 cupcakes while you're trying to still scarf up your one. No hands. So I'm saving my cheat day for his birthday. And I'm going to make our gluten-free cupcakes and sugar-free icing. They're going to be delicious.
I bet.
And we're going to have a no-hands cupcake eating contest. And I'm going to win.
Wow.
And I'm really competitive. I know
I
it's his birthday.
see this in you right now.
I know it's his birthday, but he's going down.
I believe it. I think you could
Even
take
my
him.
husband laughed when he's like, I think I could eat it faster than you can. It's like, you don't know your mom. She turns into an animal when it comes to food. And I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've talked about that. I hate sharing food. Get away from my food. Don't put your mouth on my fork or spoon. Just let me enjoy. And a lot of my unhealthy eating habits came from me eating most of my meals after the kids went to bed because I literally just wanted it was this euphoric, I had to be in a zone to enjoy my meal. and sitting with my family
was
not the zone that I
No.
wanted to be in.
Nope.
And I felt like then I would eat like even more. Like I would have dinner and it's like, okay, I ate, but I didn't enjoy what I just ate.
Yeah.
So then I would end up,
and it was,
So then I would end up eating more after they went to sleep. So I would get all cozy in bed and make sure I had my water and my remote control and like everything was good. And then I would just sit in bed and eat my food, right?
No, so I have similar, but they're horrible. It's a horrible, horrible habit. And so I drop my daughter off in the morning, which is like my most stressful part of my day. And I'm not an early morning eater. Like I get hungry around 10. Like I don't wake up starving. That rarely happens to me.
Yeah.
And so, I wake up, I breastfeed my baby, I get my daughter ready, drop her off, and then I go to Starbucks drive-thru. And by this time, my daughter, my little baby, is ready for a nap.
Yeah.
So I get my train to water. I get my tall, sugary, whatever latte I want.
Delicious drink.
It is so good. I usually do iced. And then I get like a piece of pound cake. Or like today, I was so hungry today. I don't know what was going on. So I got a breakfast sandwich and a piece of lemon pound cake. Do you know how many calories that is?
It's okay.
It is like 1,100 before I've even done anything else. And that's usually my lunch and my breakfast.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the day is a blur, and then I eat at dinner.
Right.
And then I eat when the kids go to sleep. And it's just kind of this like, and my husband was like, well, what happens if you can't go to Starbucks? Because we're talking about money. We're talking about a bunch of things.
Yep.
And I'm like, that, it was the most depressing thing.
Excuse me.
Yes.
See, I think that would be like if my husband was to tell me, well, Target's already been, but that was my choice. It wasn't his.
You go.
That was my, I'm like, all right, I got it.
We've already talked about how great I went to Target today.
I can't go to Target anymore. So Target,
Sorry.
I love you, but it's not you, it's me. I'll be back someday. I know.
What is this?
But I think if Costco had to be taken away from me, I would literally die.
Would you just like lay in bed with the blankets over your head and wait for the maggots to come?
I would. Costco is like life. Everything is at Costco. My gluten-free dog food. The wipes.
Do you eat gluten-free dog food? Is that why you look so good?
Yes. It's so delicious. Turkey and rice, honey. Low carbs. High protein.
Oh my gosh. Your hair is so shiny. Is it from that?
It's from the gluten-free dog food at Costco. The Kirkland
I'm
brand.
doing this.
Only 3 little kibbles a day. Does the body good. And a whole lot of water.
Oh.
Okay, I have to tell you something before we talk about our parenting, really bad parenting advice we've gotten.
Yeah.
This morning, my toilet broke after my husband left to go to work. And I was freaking out. And I have family coming into town. It's like the worst time. I know there's like 2 other toilets in the house, but like I need my toilet to be working. So I totally sat in my bathroom for like 15 minutes watching YouTube videos. And I totally fixed the toilet on my own. I'm like YouTube plumber certified at this point. I fixed the toilet. Like I was in the tank, like lid off, in the tank, digging around, messing, pulling on buttons, and I learned how to turn the water on and off and like how the whole function of the toilet goes.
You are amazing. You go, you.
So my toilet's fixed. I'm like so excited. So I've been like putting random things in the toilet all day and flushing it just to make sure it wasn't like a fluke. It totally is working. I'm so happy.
That is awesome.
I know. I just saved a bunch of money.
You did.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I didn't have to wait for my husband to come home.
I love that.
I fixed it myself. I have a horror story about that toilet and my husband.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you going to share it or?
I should.
Oh, you should, okay.
He's going to hate me.
Oh, okay.
But honey, I love you. Because I know you're going to listen to this because you edit all our videos. And you're going to be like, why did you just share that with everybody? So when we first moved in here, we've always had problems with that toilet. Mm-hmm. And we would always like, you can't go number 2 in that toilet. Like it's only pee only. And then it got to like where you couldn't put toilet paper in there. So it was only pee only. And then the toilet paper in the garbage can. So then we only use it in the middle of the night and not like all during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, I don't know, I totally forgot about it and I just shit in it. I shit in the toilet and I put toilet paper in there. Yeah.
You shit?
I shit. I do.
You don't look like the type.
I don't. But I do.
Okay.
And I use the poopery so you don't smell it.
Oh, good call.
It works really well.
I've heard that.
So totally clogged the toilet. It's like overflowing, brown, murky, muddy water. So my husband bought one of those like the snakes that you put in there and it breaks everything up.
Yeah.
Well, something wasn't working right and he's in there gagging and cussing and it's not cute. And he literally took his bare hands and went into the ice cold poop water to unclog it, to fix the toilet for me. And meanwhile, like, I'm laughing standing in the bathroom and he's not happy. He's like, what did you eat? It smells like a Chicago porta potty in here. Like, gagging. He's like, you wouldn't be laughing if your hands were elbow deep in ice cold shit water. This isn't funny. And I'm like dying. So I knew, like, in that moment how much he really loved me. Like, he literally put his bare hands in my shit water.
I'm going to go home and ask my husband if he'd do that for me.
Right?
Yeah.
Ladies, let me know if your husband would put his hands in ice cold shit water for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot.
I'm kind of turned on right now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Maw. Poopers.
That's so sweet.
I love you. Yeah, so he unclogged the toilet and he was like so grossed out. He like had it, yeah.
Did you find him in the shower later in the fetal position crying?
Yeah.
Like,
he was not. He gets so grossed out. He's the guy that like ties a shirt around his head when the baby has a blowout just so he could change a diaper.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to be like both hands elbow deep in shit water, literally, and I'm not talking about like little chunks, like murky brown. You can't even see through it with like chunks floating around and some of it like falling over the overflow of the toilet. Yeah. It was so bad.
That's me gagging. Wow.
It was so bad.
That's
Thanks,
so
honey.
sweet.
I love you. So,
you guys.
crappy parenting advice.
Oh, yeah. Can I start? I've got a couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell
for
me.
one, the first thing that would happen to me when I was breastfeeding
Mhm.
is people just did not believe that you can just breastfeed a baby and they're going to be okay.
Yep.
And so I went to visit my husband's sister.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time I ever met her.
Mm-hmm.
And my baby was 4 months old. We had to fly into Chicago, speaking of Chicago, and go to somewhere in the middle of Iowa. Yeah, I don't know. And she was like, because I don't think she breastfed any of her children.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, your baby's really hungry. She's
You're
watching us eat and she's moving her mouth, which now I know that's totally normal. That's like part of development. It doesn't mean they're ready for food. It means they're just kind of, yeah.
That's not what that means.
Yeah. No, they're not.
Oh.
But you can try it. I don't know. So I usually wait until like the 5 or 6 month mark with my kids. Well, she's probably closer to 3 months actually.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am with this new baby who's just like, she just quit using the nibble shield. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And it just brought me down. And I was just like, screw you. So the rest of the time I hung out in her basement by myself, breastfeeding my baby. Like,
good.
I'm not gonna.
Don't let negative Nancy bring you
and
down.
then she was like, we just fed your baby food. We just gave your baby a margarita. Like, she was just trying to like.
Yeah.
And that was the last
annoying.
time I ever saw. Oh no, I saw her one more time in person, but that wasn't
Super
my
annoying.
choice. But it was, just why? And then my other one is, they have all this research now, and they have all these diagrams about like how babies are supposed to be sleeping on their backs, not on their stomach. And my mom told me, hey, because with my daughter, she was really fussy. She was a horrible sleeper, even from the very beginning. It was horrible. And so I put her on her back, and Mom was like, well, that's the problem. And I said, Mom, the nurse and the doctors and everybody say you're supposed to lay your baby on their back. And she's like, you were a stomach sleeper. that's what they told me to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it just more relaxing? Doesn't it just feel better? And I was like, yeah, I love sleeping on my stomach. You're right, Mom.
Yeah.
So I turned my baby over, and then
she
later,
slept great, didn't she?
She did.
See?
And that's how she sleeps now. Well, now she sleeps weird. Now she sleeps on her back. But
yeah.
Anyway, for the longest time, she just roll over, and when she could start rolling, she just roll over to her stomach, and but yeah, she's alive. But they said there's like a certain percentage, I think it's a fairly large percent of babies that die from SIDS. They find them on their stomachs. So they say, but SIDS is a whole different topic we can get into some other time.
I think there's so many,
because I think it's a lot of accidental death is what I think it is.
I don't even know what it is. I know that I was ultra paranoid, but I never. That being said, ultra paranoid. If my baby wanted to sleep on its stomach, if I found a position, then I would just let him.
Yeah, go
sleep,
that position.
do that.
Yeah, but
they never both of my kids were in my room for the first year, but in a crib.
Mm-hmm,
so it's not like they were there, and that doesn't mean anything at all. Mm-hmm. It was just my comfort.
Yeah, I'm.
And people were like, "Don't put a bumper on the crib." Well, I actually had bumpers with both my kids.
Me too. And we're not saying do this.
No,
this is not
I'm
advice.
Not saying do that.
No, but yeah. I mean, you. As
you
a parent,
just do.
You're gonna.
Nobody's perfect, and yeah, there's a lot of research out there. But I think one thing that'll make all moms cringe. And I'll say it. I told the pediatrician, but when my son was born, I pumped and bottle fed him exclusively. And I swear that kid would not stop eating, and he wouldn't sleep, and he was on, I don't know if it was just my pumping schedule, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just constantly eating. And between pumping around the clock and him not sleeping, something had to give. But I obviously couldn't not pump milk around the clock. So I needed him to sleep a little bit more. So when he was very young, about 4 weeks old-ish, I started putting a little bit of rice cereal in the breast milk, and I just took a knife and I made the nipple in the bottle bigger. Just a little bit. Thickened it up. Not too thick. Just a little bit. So it went from skim milk to full fat milk,
Yeah, what did the doctor say? Did you tell him?
I totally did.
How old was your baby?
He was a month old.
What?
Mm-hmm. Are you cringing right now?
No. I think a little,
Are you cringing?
Joe
is about to flip out.
I had no idea he was that little. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She told me this story before.
Sometimes I tell people a little bit older so they don't cringe, but no, he really was 4 weeks old.
Oh my gosh.
And we had his nighttime bottle, and then it wasn't super thick. It was just an eensy tiny amount just to kind of add a little bit of something.
Well, because your tummies are so little at that point anyway.
Right. So it's not like he had to spoon feeding him rice cereal, but it was thick enough. And seriously, that was perfect. And then he was sleeping. He was actually sleeping. So I only did it one time, and it was every time his night bottle, and he got it at the same time every single night. And really, honestly, the pediatrician, when I told her, she was like, ugh. But then she was like, is it working? I'm like, yeah, he's sleeping fine. He's not puking. He's not constipated. Everything's fine. She was like, well, if it's working. So, yeah. I mean, I think, this is me just being a mom. Okay? I'm not telling you to do that.
It's not do what we say talk.
Right. Do not. You need to listen to whatever you're doing that works for you, and don't listen to me. But
well, because I'd worked with people who said, we just put a little bit of Benadryl in their bottles.
Okay, that's a little bit different than some rice. Okay?
It is. That's to the point where we have to call CPS. Don't
he
do
just
that.
Needed to be fat and full and happy, and he was, and it was good to go. And then when he was old enough to, then I stopped doing that, and I would just feed
Where did you get that from? Where did that come from, though?
Get what?
Because the rice cereal thing. Because my grandma would always say that.
It's a Southern thing.
Yeah, my grandma, who's from Arkansas.
Yeah,
my grandpa's from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And they would be like, that little baby. And my grandma would always say, you know what your baby needs?
Some rice.
Your baby is starving for sugar water.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, really, Grandma? Is she? Yeah, you got to put some sugar in that water.
Mm-hmm.
That'll
Which
make
is a
her
natural
quit
pain
crying.
reliever. It will, because it's a natural pain reliever, and it shocks their system and it makes them like, it dazes them for a little bit. It's
do you
like,
know?
that's what they did to my son when he was newborn and had his circumcision.
You told us on the last
circle
water.
water.
On the last
or
one.
Circle water. Just a little circle. Sugar water. They did that before.
Water.
A little bitty dropper of sugar water, and they gave that to him before he was circumcised.
See, sugar's good for you.
See, it literally will calm you the F down, no matter how old you are.
I need some sugar water. That's what soda is.
Sugar water.
Oh my gosh. Grandma, you were right this whole time.
I know. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a Southern thing. I
think that's a prelude to sweet tea. You know, like the sugar water. It's to prepare them. My dad, who has now has like raging diabetes, you know what she did to make his formula? Because she did not. She was like, no, breastfeeding is for animals.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
Okay, Grandma.
That is what she'd say.
Yeah.
They made, it was sweetened condensed milk.
Yum.
Molasses.
Mm-hmm. He was never constipated,
and
I'll tell you that.
Something else. And now, he's got raging diabetes,
I'm sure.
But
he's fine.
to me that sounds delicious. I want to put that in my coffee.
Through it. That actually does sound really good.
Mm-hmm.
I remember trying sweetened condensed milk for the first time at my grandma's house when she was making homemade fudge. I literally was like eating it with a spoon.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, this is the best thing in the entire
It
world.
is.
Yeah, it's so good. So I did that with my son, and let's see, my daughter was like colic, and I went to go visit my parents, and every time I turned around, my dad had like some reason why she was crying. First, it was like the headrest in the car seat.
Yeah.
She doesn't like that. She's crying because of the headrest.
So your dad's like a baby whisperer? He knows?
So I like pulled it out and then just did like a receiving blanket around her head. And it actually she did calm down a little bit in the car seat. And he was like, see, I told you, it's like smushing her brain. I'm like, okay, Dad. And then it was like, she's crying because of the hair bow. If you had that rubber band on my head, I'd be crying too. And then it was like, she cries regardless if there's a hair bow or not. And then it was, you just need to feed her some grits, which is also a very big Southern thing.
Well, yeah, I think I just need some grits right now.
I just want cheesy grits.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. He's like, you just need to feed that kid some grits. She needs some real food.
Mm-hmm.
But she never got to do the rice cereal thing because she wouldn't take a bottle.
Oh, yeah, because
had she actually, like, taken a bottle, I probably would have fattened her little butt up, too. But
yeah, none of my kids had the bottle.
People say that early introduction to food causes food allergies. Both my kids have food allergies, but one was introduced to food way earlier than the other, and they have the same exact food allergies.
Wow.
So who knows?
Come on, science.
Right? Can you just get with the times?
Come on. Come on, science. What is going on?
Some horrible advice I've gotten was the worst. Well, it just scared me, but to think that somebody would actually do this. My brother-in-law was staying with us for a little while, and we had gone to Target, and my daughter had acid reflux real bad when she was little, so she just puked all the time. And I heard
it's not spit up.
No,
it's
vomit. Like projectile vomit, and it smells
like stomach acid. It smells like throw up.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
it's so gross. It has that pungent, like,
it's GERD.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's bad.
So, and that's why she cried a lot too. So it was like colic, acid reflux. I mean, she was a mess.
Yeah.
She still is. It's okay. She still is. We all need love, bless her little heart. So she puked, and I pulled over just to make sure she was good, make sure she's not choking.
Yeah.
Right. Just make sure she's not choking. And I'm like, all right, you're good to go. You're covered in puke, and this is gross. Let's just roll the window down a little bit, and we'll get home without puking ourselves. He was so mad at me that I was leaving her in puke to drive home. Like, I'm like, what do you want me to do? He was like, well, take her out, take her clothes off, and I'll just hold her until we get home. And I'm like, you want to hold my baby in your arms on the freeway doing 70 miles an hour, and you think that that's a great idea? And he was like, you're just going to let her lay and puke. You can't. I'm like, So I just let him be mad at me, and I did not.
For the safety of your baby.
Take her out of the car seat. You guys, no kid has ever died from like sitting and puke for a minute. Like,
no. But they have died because they haven't been in their car seat.
That is true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have to weigh those.
Boo-boo. Oh, it was so bad. We had to take the whole car seat apart, and there was like chunks coming out of it when we washed it off. It was so gross.
I'm so sorry.
So disgusting.
Poor little baby too.
Gross.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Poor little baby.
I think parenting advice is funny because it comes at the most random times from the most random people.
Oh, yeah.
And it's unsolicited. The most unsolicited advice you will ever get is about parenting and what you should and should not be doing.
I know.
And
I was getting something at Michael's for my daughter's project that I was doing.
That you shouldn't have been doing, you mean?
Exactly. And this girl standing there, this young woman, I should say. She wasn't a girl, but she looked a lot younger than me.
Yeah.
Or than I feel, I guess. Anyway, she said, oh, your baby is about my baby's age. I have twin boys, and they're about that same age. And she's like, is she about 14 months? And I was like, yes. And she said, yeah, she doesn't have shoes on either. I said, oh, no. She ripped him off in the car, and I wasn't even going to deal with that. And then she said, oh, yeah, people are always asking me why my babies don't have socks and shoes on. And I said, yeah, do you tell them it's none of their business?
Yes.
And she was like, I don't even know what to say. And I said, yeah, it totally catches you off guard. And then
I've had that twice. So at the nail salon I go to, I don't know if it's like a cultural thing. I don't know, but my nail lady is always telling me. So my daughter has really long hair for her age.
Yeah.
And she's really petite.
Yeah.
And my nail lady tells me that I need to cut her hair off because that's the reason why she's small, is because she has so much hair, and that's why they cut all their kids' hair off.
Very short, yeah.
Very short so that they grow. And at first I thought she was kidding, and she's like, no, and she's like showing me pictures of like her daughter. She was like, I have to cut her hair because my husband wants her to grow more. So it's like,
and it's really interesting because I have a very tall daughter. My daughter is almost 5 feet tall, and she's in 3rd grade. And she never had hair.
Really?
Yes, never. And my little one right now, she was a little preemie, and now she's like busting over the...
She got some hair?
No.
Nope.
But she's getting taller. She's like going over like her.
Really?
Yeah. But they're all bald, and it's so weird. That's so weird.
Isn't that weird? I always had a lot of hair.
All her growth is going to her hair, and not her little body.
Right.
But that's
her
okay.
Her hair is taking all her nutrients.
Yeah, no, that's good though, because she could be a gymnast or a.
She thinks she is. When she's in trouble, she'll go full on into ballerina mode and start like twirling around and doing her hands like a ballerina.
I'm going to try this when my supervisor gets on to me.
You should just bust out ballerina moves.
I'm going to.
She literally does that. And then it's like, I can't even talk to you right now. Like, could you stop? Just like, yeah.
It distracts you from being mad.
I know.
Look at me.
Look at me. I'm a ballerina.
I'm a princess. I know. I'm totally doing it. And I'm wearing a tiara from now on.
Yes. And then the other thing that I've heard at the nail salon when she was a baby is when she didn't have socks on, like that's how for sure she was going to get like sick. Like they have to wear socks all the time. That's how they get sick, is because they get germs on their feet. And then that's what makes them sick. So every time when they're like, her feet are cold, she's going to get sick, you got to cover her feet up. And she'd always like come over and cover her feet up. I'm fascinated by different cultural things too. You know, like, and I believe I can't remember what culture it is. They want to feed. I know. I'm like not saying anything now, but they feed their children, and they like do most things for their children because they want their children to be dependent. Oh,
It's
not
really,
me.
yeah. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. And there's a lot of different things that I know, not me. Not I know it's not the American way. And
Not
then,
me.
in other cultures, they also don't use diapers. Like cultures that don't use diapers, they can tell because they're like have their babies on them all the time
Yeah.
by the face their baby makes when they're about to urinate
Oh.
or defecate.
No,
Yeah.
I need a diaper.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. I'm doing the dishes.
I don't.
And I'm not going to wear you all day.
You know, one thing you just reminded
Though people do that, that's
when
fine. I'm not judging.
when my daughter was little, she was always soothed by water. She loved being in the water. And I don't know if she was like, it's because she was born in the water. Like my son was not born in the water and he's always hated water.
Interesting.
He hated swimming. He hated baths. He just wanted to take a shower and be done with it. He never liked the swimming pool. He only liked slip and slides. But now it wasn't until he was about 7, to be honest, that he was actually like, oh yeah, I want to go swimming.
Wow.
And then we had to put him in swimming lessons because he was never into it. My daughter loves the water. And so when she was colicky, I had this like bathtub chair that actually went inside of the plastic bathtubs, but it was like a bath sling. Mm-hmm. And I would put it in the sink, like prop it up because it had these metal clips on it where it actually would like sit inside the sink. And I would fill up one side of the sink with water and I would do my dishes on the other side. And I would just like randomly like splash her with water and like talk to her the whole time. And she would be just like a couple of weeks old in the sink on one side, and I would just get my dishes done and get all my stuff done while she was just right there sitting in the water because it totally calmed her down. And I'm not just gonna stand there and like watch her take a bath. So I was just doing it. She was all secured in there. It's like this little this little bath sling, and then I would just put a little washcloth on her tummy to keep her from getting cold and put some music on, and she would just like hang out and
that actually
look around.
Amazing.
It was really sweet. I'm sure I have some videos of her like just she would do her like all her talking and noises and stuff. Cute. Which is way better than that freaking high-pitched screaming that she did. That was awful.
Yes.
Yeah. Awful.
I could not. I've been blessed to the point where I didn't have to deal with GERD or colic or anything like that.
I didn't think colic was real. I thought it was moms who didn't know how to react to their baby. And I'm like, all babies cry. Duh.
No.
And my son was such a good baby. And a good toddler and a good kid. There's such a big age gap between them. I'm like, obviously, I'm the perfect parent.
Well, yeah.
And then my daughter came and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm not cut out for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you always have a child my children are far apart because I think I was so stressed out that I couldn't get pregnant.
Yeah.
Because she quit taking, I tell people she quit taking naps at 9 months, and I don't think people realize what I went through. I'd start trying to put her down for a nap, her morning nap at 11. And I would finally get her to go down at 5 p.m. And
it's horrible.
I left her one time in the crib, and this is like horrible. This is probably but this is because I took people's advice instead of like listening to myself.
Yeah.
I put her in the crib and let her cry for probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it didn't she just lost her voice. It didn't get better.
Right.
She didn't quit crying and screaming. And I didn't go, I go in, I did the approach that you're supposed to. I went in and soothed. Okay. And she did not go to sleep.
I think some kids just don't respond. I'm all for cry it out.
Mm-hmm.
But
to the point of how long is cry it out? When I taught people,
I think it depends.
I would tell people don't let your baby cry for more than 15 minutes.
Okay, but there's a difference between crying and that full on scream, cry. Okay, that's different than the I'm pissed off at you, I don't want to do this cry. But once you know that they're hungry, they've been fed, there's nothing wrong with them, and you know that it's time for them to go to sleep, then it's totally acceptable for them to cry a little bit and learn how to soothe themselves down. Yeah. If it gets to the point, Sometimes when you cry, it's natural because your tongue and where your tongue and your throat meet, it'll make them gag.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like, they cried so hard they gagged, but it doesn't take a lot for a baby to gag when they're crying, especially if they're sleeping on their back.
Yeah.
Because their tongue, you know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
naturally, I'm not saying that you need to let your kids puke, but my daughter would make herself throw up. She would put her hands in her throat, and it was easy because she had the GERD.
Yeah.
So that was a whole other, like,
That sounds like a nightmare.
she was.
Yeah.
The whole thing, we're just now coming out of that nightmare. And here we are, like, years later. And people are like, it's going to get better. I'm like, you've been saying that.
No. I remember people asking me because, you know, when I did infant mental health, they're like, oh, you have a child. When did your child sleep through the night? And at this point, my child was 5.
She's Satan.
And she wasn't sleeping through the night. She wasn't. And so it was rough. And so I just quit. I finally listened to myself. I quit listening to my mom. I quit listening to other people. And I was like, I guess you're done with naps.
Yeah.
So she didn't act like she needed one.
Ugh.
And she still,
it's horrible.
I've let her stay up to see how late she'd actually stay up, like on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 3 a.m.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And that's just the way she is. So
my kids, my son, you know, he's a lot older than her. Even now I'm like, oh, okay, let's stay up till New Year's, knowing damn well I'm going to be asleep by 9 o'clock.
I'm tired at 8:30.
So usually usually I'm in bed. I'm good. By 8 o'clock, I'm done. I'm going to bed. Kids are in bed already. I'm going to sleep. And that's my bedtime.
I force myself to stay up till 11:30 most nights.
That would be like me waiting for the ball to drop. Like, why are we doing this? This feels
I do
unnatural.
my stuff. That's when I have my mom time.
No, I do that at like 5 a.m. before everybody else wakes up.
And just hearing that makes me, yeah. Anyway.
Except for lately. I've been really tired lately. I think I'm just like overly stressed or something. I don't know what it is.
It might be your anorexia.
It could be.
Yeah, but you look good.
Thanks.
So keep it up.
Thanks, Bo. Even my son, my husband will like stay up with him and then they'll wake me up when it's like midnight, but then my husband falls asleep and then he'll set his alarm to like wake himself up. My son's always asleep. He's never made it to midnight ever.
My daughter
he's usually out.
Why aren't we playing games, guys? Like after, I don't you go to bed.
Like we're done here.
Just recently, she said she was tired. Like for the first time, she's 9. And the other night she was like, you know what, I am. And then she was sick the next day.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, well, that's why.
No, both my kids have always been like, I'm tired. I think I need to take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or it's time for me to go to bed. But they've always had that same boom, boom, boom. So I don't know if it's like they're really tired or it's just like their natural response. Like, oh, I could feel that it's nap time. I should be sleeping right now because that's usually what I do every time. Yeah. But even my son, he'll be 10 soon. And sometimes when he's in a crabby mood on the weekend, I'll make him take a nap and he takes a nap. So I'm like, he doesn't get crabby. I know when my son's super tired when he's crying. Like if he is like upset about something and he'll start to like tear up a little bit, I'm like, all right, you need to go take a nap. And he'll be like, okay. And then he'll totally fall asleep and then wake up in a way better mood, which is.
And I've always been that way. My mom said I slept through the night when I came home from the hospital. And my baby, my new little baby, she's 14 months. She does. She sleeps. She's a good
daughter
sleeper.
Never slept in life.
Yeah. No, I know.
It was
your daughter and my daughter should hang out. Oh no. So do we have a pick of the week for you?
Do.
Or should we do our mom fail? Oh, mom fail. Mom fails first.
Let's do our mom fail.
Mm-hmm.
What is my mom fail? You go first. I didn't think about all the way I failed my children in the last week.
All the ways I failed my kids.
I know.
Well, I always share about my older daughter, so I'll share about my 14-month-old.
Mm-hmm.
So this was probably like a week or so ago.
Yeah.
she's really been loving up on her animals lately. Like, she has a few stuffed animals. I don't like buying stuffed animals. We can talk about that later. It's not,
Gross.
they're just, they're not. But my older daughter had a few, and so she's been playing with these, and she's like loving all up on them. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And I changed her diaper one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I called my husband over. I was like, this is moldy or something. There's like fur or like fuzz, or she had been eating the animal hair, the stiff animal hair, and I had not even noticed. I was like, wow, she's really like kissing up on the animal. It's so cute. No, she was eating it.
So gross.
Eating it. And so now she probably will, if she ever gets cancer, I'm going to be like, I know.
It came from the animal.
Yes. All right, what's yours?
I don't know. Oh, I locked my son out of the house the other day and I didn't realize it. I feel like a really shitty parent.
He's still alive, though.
He is. Well, he knew his sister was taking a nap. And I just, like, he went outside to play, and I don't know, I, like, instinctively, like, locked the door.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
And I was like, it got really quiet, and I didn't hear the basketball outside anymore. And I'm like, well, it's been a while since he's, like, been inside. And I looked out the window, and he's, like, sitting on the curb, just, like, sitting there all by himself. Like, there's nobody outside. He's just sitting on the curb. And I opened the door, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why aren't you playing? Why are you just sitting there? And he's like, the door was locked, and I knew my sister was taking a nap, and I didn't want to knock on the door and have the dogs bark.
Oh,
like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Isn't that sad? I feel horrible. Really sad.
And I've been listening to too many, like, scary podcasts lately where, like, kids are abducted.
Don't say that. It wasn't like that long, all right? It wasn't like hours. It was just like a few minutes.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, I know.
It's horrible. I don't know why I'm on this. Like,
do you know my parents used to tell me all the time, like, I'll never worry about you getting kidnapped because you're so horrible. They'll bring you back.
I think I might have said something, not a lot, like, not so you're so horrible, but like my daughter has said something to me like, well, what if I get kidnapped? I'm like, I'm not worried about that.
They'll bring you back. No, my parents would literally tell me that. Like, people would pay us to take you back if they ever kidnapped you. So we're not worried about that.
Wow. I'm curious to know what you were like as a
horrible
young child.
Horrible.
Well, you're a strong woman now.
Do you know, like, those girls on the Maury show? It's like, I do what I want.
What, you jealous?
Yeah.
Are you jealous?
That was me.
Oh.
It was really cute. Like, these really, like, hefty, like, Sharpie drawn on eyebrows. Girl, let me tell you what.
Did you have lip liner? Did you do the lip liner?
I didn't do it looked like I kissed a butthole lip liner look.
I did.
I did. Mine were like super shiny, like the ultra lip gloss. You know, the what was it? The New York City lip gloss that came out, cherry flavored, all over, where it looked like you just had like a pound of oil like stuck on your face.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my favorite. And they had like the glitter one.
I experimented with a lot of
New
things.
York NYC makeup from Walmart.
Oh,
girl. I had a strong game going on then.
I miss those days.
Right?
So your pick of the week.
My pick of the week is Bumble and Bumble hair products. They're amazing. They smell so good. My hair has been like really gross since I've had my daughter, and I've like often switched up my shampoos. I've used like a ton of different brands, Kenra, Joico, like you name it, Matrix, Keratis, whatever it's called. And I haven't found anything that I really like, except for this Bumble and Bumble. It's been amazing. And it smells really, really good.
I'm going to have to smell your shampoo before I go.
It smells so good. Well, I have two different kinds. There's the Sunday shampoo, and then there's the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil, which is my everyday. Well, not every day because I don't wash my hair every day.
So this is like a personal question, but this is a real talk here. So do you have like... I know I have like my budget for like me because I need it.
Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you have like your mama budget?
Yeah, I don't really.
Well, because I know those are crazy. I looked them up on Amazon, and I was like,
yeah,
that's kind of expensive.
They are pretty expensive, but I don't share with anybody. I don't share my products. So for me,
it's not like your kids are using Bubble and Bubble.
No. My son has his own shampoo, conditioner, body wash. My daughter has her own shampoo, conditioner.
Your son conditions?
He does. I know. He's really sweet.
He's
got his own deodorant. He's got his own things. My husband has his own like man purse bag on the counter with his different like beard oils and like hair things. But he's not like a weird like girly guy. He just likes his beard to be like soft and not like mangy.
Oh yeah.
And then I have all my stuff. So it's not like, yeah, I don't know. I love products though.
I hear this. You could do your own products podcast.
Or
YouTube channel.
A good product. Yeah. But I'm not like a product snob where I'm like only
these high
end things. No, I totally like my favorite mascara is like from Walmart. And I've been using it since I was in middle school and it just works. I love it. I don't know what it's called, but it's in like a hot pink bottle with a green lid on it.
Great Lash? It's Great Lash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like that mascara?
I think everyone loves that mascara.
I've tried this like Too Faced, like Better Than Sex is what it's called, mask. It was so stupid. Like the brush was too thick. It didn't, and I have like long eyelashes. Yeah. Just basic old Great Lash mascara. That's all I use. Nothing fancy. That's
there
it.
You go.
Yeah. So I think it's hit or miss. Some products I like that are like super like inexpensive, and then other products I just stumbled across them, and like the Too Faced contour powder stuff I have, like cocoa is what it's called, and it literally smells like chocolate, and it throws me off all the time because I'm like putting it on, and it smells like something like my 3-year-old would put on her face, like fake makeup. But no, it literally smells like chocolate.
Wow.
What about you?
Well, it's nothing glamorous. Like now I'm just like but it changes my life on at least the weekly.
Yeah.
Windex wipes.
Oh yeah, I do like those.
I love those. I have them in my house. I have them in my car.
Really?
Yep.
I love them.
Yep.
I'm that way with baby wipes. I use baby wipes for everything. Yep. Just a baby wipe. They're so convenient.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, girl.
I have my daughter use them for everything because they're convenient for her to do chores. And like, you grab a baby wipe and you dust that.
Yeah, exactly. Baby wipes are really good for that.
Yep.
Well, we're going to post all our stuff on Instagram
and Facebook.
If you have any questions, let us know. Comment. We want to hear from you.
Yes, we're for Real Talk.
Yeah.
We're for Real Talk JK at gmail.com, and it's the number 4. Numeral 4.
Yep.
And that is, you can email us, so it's private. And we are on Instagram, and we are, I think it's for Real Talk JK on Instagram as well, I believe. And we really thank you all for listening to our podcast.
Yes, and all the support.
The first 5 episodes, you do not have to listen to them in order.
No,
and we just we're also going to be getting off a parenting topic at some point.
Yeah.
Because this is Real Talk. It's not just parenting talk.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about
some
other
topics.
things.
What do you want to hear? What do you want us to talk about?
What do you want us to talk about? And we do, we're
open for all ideas and suggestions.
We are. And we have, we may be interviewing some people in the future, some other moms, mom power, and also dads.
About that.
Yes.
Yeah. If we have any dad fails out there, send those to us. If you don't want to
please.
show a mom fail, but you want to talk about how horrible your husband is, send that in.
Or
we will
yourself.
gladly.
Maybe there's a man listening.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from any yet, but
some secret dad listeners out there.
Yes.
Send us some messages.
So thank you, and we'll
talk to you next time.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye.